What's going on, everybody? It's a Nitty, and we have some Thieves Guild Part 2. This is where I'm busting in the GoldenGlow estate. I'm going to pick up a little bee statue for some extra money, and I try to do some of the optional things, and I try to do it all sneaky and legit-like, but it ends up getting messy, and I have to drawing my swords and shedding some blood all over the basement, all over the upper floors, and getting out of Dodge. Just the way, I guess, a thief is supposed to do it. If you can't do it and you get caught, just kill everybody, right? So that's what happens. It does get messy. My skills have gotten quite a bit better as I've made it through the Thieves Guild, but there's one thing that so far, because I kind of patched halfway through the Thieves Guild, they had that 1.03 patch. And ever since then, Skyrim has been freezing like a crazy man. It seems like I'll have like anywhere between 1 to 4 or 5 freezes within a couple hours anymore since the 1.03 patch. So I went and did a bunch of Googling and all that other stuff on the hunt to see what's going on, or maybe, you know, maybe my PlayStation is crap in the bed, even though that's the only game that it happens on. And I found out it's a known issue. It's widespread, especially when you're auto-saving and your save files get to a certain point, it likes to freeze the game. So that's something you're going to want to watch out for if you have a PlayStation 3 and maybe you haven't run into it yet. But either way, they're supposed to have 100% fix for it as of 1.04, I do believe, is supposed to be guaranteed fixes for this freezing issue among like 4 or 5 other guaranteed fixes. So we'll see what exactly it brings, but that's supposed to be released, I guess, later this week, or was it early next week, and then it probably goes through all its process over at Sony, and it'll probably be out like 1.5 to 2 weeks from now, I would bet. But until that point, I'm probably just going to let Skyrim sit, because in all honesty, it's really, really frustrating, especially like when you're getting through all these missions. And on Master difficulty, some of these upper Thieves Guild missions were extremely difficult, like much like the Mage Guild. Like the Dark Brotherhood wasn't that bad at all, but the Thieves Guild and the Mage Guild have had some missions in there that are like really, really difficult, especially on Master difficulty, to get through, and they're really time consuming. So when you get through all that, and say you're in like a 20-minute battle with 5 mobs, and you got to, you know, do a bunch of kiting and all this crazy stuff happens, and then you auto-save it after and it freezes. Well, you don't get that auto-save, so you got to go all the way back and do that 20-minute battle again. And it's just become a little bit more frustrating than I like on that end. The game's amazing, but the freezing I can't stand anymore. So I'm going to set that off to the side and work with what I got, and then work on some more Assassin's Creed, some more Star Wars, some more Saints Row, and go from there. But there's where Skyrim is. Tonight I'm going to have a live stream from probably 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern. I know I said 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern, but tonight's going to be family movie night, and I don't know how long that movie's going to last. I don't want it to come up to the last minute 7 and then be running around trying to get the live stream going. So I'm just going to push it out to 8 and do that. And I'm going to put a little short video up probably before I even put this video up, to let everybody know what's going on, give you the link to my Justin TV channel and all that other good stuff, and go from there. And then we can play, you know, like I said, Saints Row, Assassin's Creed, Star Wars, whatever we want, Team Fortress, whatever anybody wants to see and have a good time with, that's what we're going to do. But, like I said, you know, the drama never stops. And I see a bunch of videos getting thumbs up of people wanting to kick Woody's butt now, and I see a bunch of Twitter messages and a bunch of people getting blocked and complaining that they got blocked and all this crazy stuff, and it all right again swarms right back to a PK episode. And I don't watch these guys anymore. I don't even pay attention to them unless, you know, I've seen the random Twitters of, you know, this person did that, this person did that, but it's not even worth my time. But this one, I guess, you know, there's a whole slew of them, so I'm like, oh, you know, something juicy must have happened this time. So I'm looking through the gaming videos, because I'm not exactly sure where it's at. I'm looking through the game videos, and below, here's 2 Woody videos that are miscategorized on the front page. One of him dancing horribly to Michael Jackson, and one of him, like, trying to light a lighter. It was more of a tutorial on how to light a lighter than it was how to light a gunpowder. But it's just mind-boggling that these are on the front page. Obviously, they wouldn't be on the front page if it wasn't the gaming channel, the gaming section. But again, you know, this is just time and time again. And the funniest thing is all the comments are in there like, this is the best video I've ever seen. This is the best video on YouTube. And I didn't even get a chuckle out of either of them. So I'm not exactly sure if I missed something or what people are exactly saying is so great about these videos. But I just don't get it anymore, man. I don't understand how the companies that these guys are under don't, start slapping these guys on the wrists and laying down some of the laws, because you see it happen to smaller channels that are under the same companies, and they'll get slapped. But these bigger guys won't, because they're pulling in more money. It's, the double standard issue, and you can't have that. It'll cause, some sort of, it's mind-boggling, and it's just, but that wasn't it. So I still keep searching around, and I come across, I go to his channel, because finally I couldn't figure out what the heck was going on. And there's a new PK episode up there, so I'm like, oh geez, it's got to be this. So I click on that, I start watching it, and I got bored within like 2 or 3 minutes, so I had to like pause the video and start scrolling down through the comments and trying to find times of when people were talking about. So luckily, just on the second page, there's a bunch of times written out of, Woody did this at this time, Woody did that at this time. So I start clicking on the times and going there. First one I come to is Woody all of a sudden snaps and starts freaking out, calling all his people watching it, bringing in, the people that are supporting him in his full-time YouTube job to bring everybody the best content on the internet, on YouTube, put his full heart into it. And if lighting, gunpowder on fire and dancing awful to Michael Jackson and winning Michael Jackson dancing contest against one other guy is it, then YouTube apparently needs help if that's the best content on YouTube. So, but either way, back to the PK episode. So he starts freaking out on all his subscribers and everything, because there was some sort of audio problem, and instead of just saying, hey guys, I'll get it fixed, I can't do it right in the between all this, which he did, but at the same time he's freaking out, calling all this, everybody a moron and idiots, this and that. He doesn't care, shut the hell up, blah 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 blah. Even Wings was telling him to shut up, and he was telling Wings to shut up. He doesn't care, and it was laughable. I almost laughed about, because of the irony and the whole thing, and just the stupidity and childishness of the whole thing was actually funny, because it's just so dumb. It's like you just watch those movies where you're just looking at your buddy like, are we seriously watching this? And you're just giggling because it's like the stupidest thing you've ever watched. That was part of it. But I didn't figure that could have been it, so I had to do some more scrolling. I scroll down, page after page after page, and finally figure out what everybody's talking about. Woody said something about rape. So I started at the beginning of the conversation, and the whole thing was, there was a question about something about which would be worse, getting your butt kicked or getting raped, like which would be physically more detrimenting than the other one. And Woody goes and says that he thinks it wouldn't be that physically detrimenting on a girl because to get raped, because they're built for it. I don't even know what to say to that, but it goes to show you guys out there how out of touch with reality these guys are. Because let me tell you, if Woody's wife was to possibly get raped, right? Say Woody's wife got raped. Have him go to his wife and tell her, well, you can't be physically hurt. There's no way. You're built to take it like that. It wouldn't happen. And it just shows how out of touch with reality, how little life experiences whatsoever some of these guys have had. Like, their lives must have been like just prim and proper and handed to them on a plate, full blown, their entire life. Like, nothing must have went wrong. None of their friends must have had any problems, and they just live in this shell of stupidity and wonderment, because you just, it's absolutely mind-boggling. But at the same time, it's what I figured. It's something I figured, and it's just, I can't watch these guys anymore. I can't do it because it's just, I can't even click on a link. If I just see Twitter feuds anymore, I'm not even going to click on links anymore, because I know what's coming. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to stare at the computer screen and rewind it a bunch of times and make sure that's exactly what they said, and just shake my head and want to punch myself for people being like that. It's just, I just wish somebody would do something about it. And the problem is, it's going to get to the point, like, these guys don't see it. Like, they think, being YouTube famous, they have the world by the balls. And they're untouchable in certain aspects, and this and that. And nothing's ever going to happen to them. The problem is, they're going to catch somebody the wrong way. They're going to catch somebody at the wrong time. And they're going to catch somebody that doesn't care. And when they go to like E3 or PAX, somebody's going to walk up and put them in the hospital. And I'm expecting that sooner or later. And I will laugh at that as well because he would have deserved everything he got. And it's going to come to that point because just out of sheer stupidity, it's just going to come to that point. Sooner or later, they're going to catch somebody wrong, and somebody's just going to say, you know what, I don't care anymore, and beat them down. And that's it. So we'll see what happens, but I don't know why anybody follows or watches these guys crap anymore. But time and time again, people do over and over and over again, and they make a lot of money doing it, and then a lot of people complain, and then they just go through and block everybody that has anything bad to say about them, and so on and so forth. So, I mean, it's great if you have, 600,000-700,000 subs and you're getting 80,000 views a video. You got 600,000 dead subs. So most of them are probably blocked because they said just a little bit of criticism towards them. So whatever. It's just people should just know by now. Just put them on a block list yourself and stop watching their crap and let them live in their own little world of idiocy and just be a group of dummies. I mean, I don't know anywhere else to put it, but whatever. Yeah. So, typical drama, nothing too major. But real quick, back to this little video here. One thing real quick with these beehives, and because I had to redo this a couple times actually. Don't use Fireball. If you have Fireball at this point, don't use Fireball because of the splash damage. So, for example, you'll throw a Fireball, it'll splash damage. No matter which way I tried it, I always caught 4 of them on fire, and then you don't get the bonus because he only told you to light 3 of them on fire. So just watch for that. And also, when you're going up in that room, I tried to wait it out hours upon hours upon hours, and that guy never went to sleep. He's always kind of, sitting in that chair, looking back at you like your creepy uncle, and you can't get to pickpocket him. You have to kill him. Sometimes the guards come, sometimes they don't. So I closed the door, and I had to redo it a couple times because I couldn't take on 2 or 3 guards by myself on master difficulty. I just couldn't do it. There wasn't enough room to kite them and shout them and all that other stuff. Not to mention I left Lydia down stairs because I couldn't sneak through properly with her and her armor and everything chinging along, and she'd talk or some dumb thing, and then here come 4 or 5 guards. They 3 shot her, and then I'd be on my own anyways, and then I'd end up dying, and it was a disaster. So I suggest either leave Lydia outside or bring her in with you. And not to mention there's a few missions later where you're not going to be able to use her at all. So I need to really start getting used to getting my skills up and being without a companion, because I gotta upgrade my armor, upgrade my weapons, and all that other stuff, and kind of get a little more power behind myself as far as that goes, and start trying out a little bit more different techniques so I don't have that companion help with me, because even though she goes down in 2 or 3 shots, I still have a lot of help. But we got a ton more Skyrim coming. I'm having a blast. The worst thief in Skyrim is getting a little bit better at a time. But that's what I got for you guys today. As usual, keep your heads up. Don't listen to these guys' crap. Peace. Don't forget, you can follow me on Skype, Twitter. Also, you can add me up on the PSN. My gamer tag is Nidian. And if you're looking for more playthroughs, walkthroughs, guides, achievement guides, and more videos, go over and check us out at www.own.tv/vidthrough and at our YouTube page at www.youtube.com/user/vidthrough, where we are truly changing the game.